1. The Archetypal Blueprint, 1608-2026. Every chronological milestone carries a mathematical and energetic architecture. When dissected through esoteric and archetypal analysis, August 16, 2026 resolves into three foundational forces. The 16, the tower/shattered illusion. The number 16 represents the deliberate collapse of false structures. It forces the disintegration of ego identities, borrowed belief systems, and emotional crutches. It demands the fall of everything artificial so that only indestructible truth remains standing. The 08, August/the karmic axis. The 8 is the symbol of infinity, $\empty$, turned upright, the cosmic balance of cause and effect, power, authority, and relentless justice. It demands that spiritual insight be matched with real-world discipline. The 2026 reduction, $2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 is equal to 10 \right arrow $1. A completion cycle that resets to absolute zero. The number 1 marks the genesis point. Radical self-sovereignty, initiation, and the end of reliance on outside authority. 2. The triad of divine prompts, the three pillars, the divine covenant, destiny/authority, radical stillness, mind/non-reaction, shadow integration, soul/raw truth. The first prompt, radical stillness, the mental pillar. The refusal to be hijacked by external provocation. When the world attempts to provoke an emotional deficit, you offer zero kinetic return. Silence becomes an impenetrable shield and an active exercise of power. The second prompt, shadow integration, the emotional pillar. Confronting repressed wounds, buried insecurities, and unspoken fears without masking them in spiritual rationalizations. You do not run from pain, you sit inside the fire until the fear burns away. The third prompt, the sovereign covenant, the destiny pillar. Transitioning from a passive observer of your life into an active architect. August 16, 2026 marks the boundary where preparation ends and total accountability begins. 3. The anatomy of non-reaction, transmutation versus suppression. The try not to react discipline is not passive tolerance, it is internal alchemy. Layer the reactive habit, old self, the transmuted response, August 16 threshold, provocation, instinctive counterattack, defensiveness, outrage, total internal stillness. Observing the intent behind the attack, ego urge demanding to be understood, validated, or proven right, allowing others to misunderstand you without needing to correct them, pain and loss, grief converted into bitterness, blame, and victimhood, pure grief felt directly, dissolved into unconditional clarity, spoken words, rushed justifications that bleed, energetic authority measured. Razor-sharp speech used only when silence is insufficient. 4. The 5 core truths of the reading. Your greatest obstacle is your need for external witnessing. As long as your growth requires someone else's approval, validation, or recognition, you remain bound to external systems. The shift requires performing your purpose in complete obscurity with the same reverence as on a public stage. Every trigger points directly to an unfinished attachment. You cannot be provoked by something you have truly released. When an event or person disturbs your equilibrium, it is not an attack. It is an audit revealing precisely where you are still attached to outcomes, images, or validation. Silence is strategic dominance, not passivity. The human instinct to speak, explain, and debate is often a nervous discharge of unintegrated energy. True spiritual authority requires retaining that energy internally and converting it into clear, decisive action. The death of the victim timeline. Up to this threshold, personal history may have been framed around past wounds, delays, and unfair circumstances. From this date forward, clinging to old grievances becomes a voluntary choice to remain disempowered. Words must match reality. Spiritual concepts, high intentions, and divine prompts mean nothing if your daily behavior defaults to old survival instincts under pressure. Truth is proven in the heat of provocation, not in moments of quiet contemplation. 5. The threshold imperative. August 16, 2026 is an internal dividing line. On one side stands the version of you that required external validation, reacted to every slight, and waited for permission to claim your path. On the other side stands the sovereign individual, silent under pressure, resolute in discipline, and anchored in absolute self-mastery.